Okay, Assalamu alaikum students. As we are not getting much time to discuss a lot of things in the class, so I have decided to explain roads through this video so that you all will be able to understand that. So, as you know, road transport is extremely important and popular transport for us, especially when we need to travel within land, or maybe you can say from one city to another city or one area to another area. Definitely we don't need to go for air or water transport. We need road for that, right? And for roads, motor vehicles are required, such as buses, trucks, cars, taxis, rickshaws, etc. Motorcycles are mostly common over here. Okay, and if we talk about the overall percentage of a transportation of such passengers who use roads as a mean of their transport, so it is approximately more than 80%. Okay, and if we talk about overall importance of roads, it is extremely important. Okay, I have already mentioned it over here that road transport carries approximately 82% of the total passengers in traffic, and overall 54% of freight rate is in there in Pakistan, right? I don't need to tell you that how many kilometers are there for the metalled and unmetalled roads. So, metalled roads are the roads which are built properly, and unmetalled roads are the roads which are not proper, which are not good for traveling heavy vehicles or riding heavy vehicles over there, right? So, and national highways are also being in development procedure. A lot of have been already developed. So, it is a lot it is important for a country to maintain their roads, right? If we talk about the importance of roads for Pakistan, for the country like Pakistan, so 64% of our population is living in the rural areas, who does not have any access to the railways or any other proper market. So such rural areas needs to be linked with the cities and agricultural markets by road. So it's one of the great importance of road. Then if we want to develop the rural areas, so availability of road is extremely important, because if the network of roads and will be constructed for the rural areas, so their life will turns to be more prosperous, and they will be able to produce more products, such as more crops, so they can have great access to the market again. And if we construct the roads, the agricultural sector will be developed, and it will provide agro inputs and machineries and agri products, which can get the access to the urban market. That is another reason, another importance. And then if we talk about the industrial products, the consumer goods, they also required roads, because they need to be traveled from or transported from rural to urban and urban to rural areas. Then another importance is that for the short and the quick traveling, or short distances, road is extremely feasible and time saving as compared to go by train, because for that you have to get into the queues for tickets and all. But for a quick travel, we can go for quick and short distance travel, we can go for roads, right? So roads play an important role in especially the mountainous regions, because those areas are not accessible for not accessible by the rails, by the trains. So the construction is also not far feasible over here. So for such areas, roads are more important, right? And if we talk about that, roads get more preferences over railways and air transport because of greater flexibility. We can go whenever we want, there is no restriction is there, number one. Number two, frequency is there, that whenever we want to go, we can go through whatever mean, we can go different alternatives, right? Number three, the speed is also there, that we can go with any speed. The speed depends on us, and economy, it depends on our budget, that how we want to travel and which kind of vehicle we want to travel in by road, right? So again, most of the people, most of the population in Pakistan prefers roads over railways and airways, right? So let me just quickly give you a clear idea about the three types of roads. So as two of the roads I have already mentioned over here in the slide, the metal roads. So metal roads are the roads which are made up of proper stones, which are layered with the bitumens. The bituminous coal structure. The bitumen is one of the source which can make the road proper. And unmetal roads are the roads which are not covered properly with the stones or bricks, right? And there is another type of road as well, which is not called actually a road, but somewhere you will get that kind of word as soling, SOLING, soling. So soling is just a road which we usually make outside our houses, which is made up of cement and bricks only, just a plain surface, right? So, okay, so let's have a look at the advantages and disadvantages of the road. So, uh, the major advantage of the road is it's flexible. Number two is it's good for door-to-door services. And if you talk about, and number three, it is faster over the shorter routes such as highways and motorways, right? Number four, if you talk about, if the roads are built and maintained properly, so they can be more cheaper to travel. Then I guess number five, that it can provide us with good networks of good network of roads for the industrialization purposes, especially for the promotional sector. And I guess the last one is going to be it will be easier and the better source for traveling, for either for the job or for the connectivity or for just for traveling purposes. It's the easier one. And if you talk about the disadvantages of the road, so uh, roads can be expensive if we are going extremely long distance, right? From Sindh to KPK, if you're traveling, it is long, as well as it will turn to be extremely expensive in terms of fuel, right? Then it is slow in urban areas due to dense population. Like the example is Karachi, that it is having a lot of population, so it's extremely difficult to travel from one place to another in a shorter time because of heavy load on the roads. Then it increase a lot of air pollution, so that is also a problem for one of the great disadvantage of roads. Then yes, it can also carry only small loads. It cannot carry heavy loads just the way ships and trains can carry. Initially it is expensive to build and properly maintain, like um, and the roads which are being built by the government uh, always get shattered within a passage of time because of continuous movement. So it needs to be maintained, and for maintenance we need money for that, right? Then it cost is regularly increasing. It is increasing rapidly, so it is also creating a lot of problem, right? So I hope everybody is cleared with this. So now we will look into the principal roads of Pakistan. So the one of the important road is the N5. N5 is the national highway, you can say, the nationals. So N5 stretches for 1264 kilometer from Karachi through Lahore and Peshawar, Turkham, right? And it changes its name at Lahore. And it have two more major areas, which are two major highways, you can say. One is known as the National Highway, which is known as N5, which only travels from Karachi to Lahore, and then it changes direction from which it passes through Hyderabad, Sakhar, Bahalpur, and Multan, right? And then another N5 is there, which we also called as trunk road, which only travels from Lahore to Peshawar. Even though if I, in simple words, if I say N5 is one road, and the road which is connecting Karachi to Lahore, we called it National Highway. And the road which is connecting Lahore to Peshawar, we called it GTR, or the Grand Trunk Road, right? It is just the same road, right? Then if we talk about the second major road of Pakistan, that is the Indus Highway, which is technically known as N55. And it is also longer than N5. As you can see, N5 is 1260 and it is 1264 kilometer long. And it has a it is a 4-lane highway, and it runs along the river Indus. So it is also extremely important, because it is one of the major road, and it was started, or it was proposed basically in the year 1980, and it started the construction was started in 1981, and it was completed in the year 1985, and since then it is in in progress, right? This is, you can see the route of N5 all the way from Karachi to you can say towards the upper area, the Punjab side. You can see that how it's moving towards Peshawar, right? All the way from Karachi to Peshawar, this road is linking. We called it N5. Okay. All right. Now the RCD. Which is known as Regional Cooperation for Development Highway, that is RCD Highway. And that connects Karachi to Quetta, and it is approximately 600 kilometer long, right? And there is another highway which is Lahore Quetta Highway, then Sakar Quetta Highway. But the another important one is Karakoram Highway. As you all know about, that Karakoram Highway is a major highway which connects Pakistan to China, and it is approximately it has the elevation of 4,693 meters, and it is also known as N35 in Pakistan, and in China it is known as China National Highway 314, and or they also called it as G314, right? It is also the part of Asian Highway. So it has a lot of importance, because it is also counted to be known as the eighth wonder of the world, because of its huge elevation and difficult terrain to be constructed, but it was constructed, so it has great importance for the world. And for Pakistan, if we talk about, it's good for the transportation, for trade, and especially for the tourist attraction in Pakistan, right? So, all right. Okay, if we talk about the another major highway for Pakistan, that is the Makran Coast Highway, which is definitely, as per the name is clear, that it is in Balochistan, and it is connecting the Arabian coastline. So it is also one of the greater port which is connected Karachi with Gwadar and all the coastal lines in Balochistan in Makran Coast. So it has also had great importance, and the official and technical designation of the Makran Coast Highway is N10. Yes, it is also known as N10. You will get to know about different names in the motorways section when we will discuss about the motorways. Then you will get to know that what are N. So there are a lot of roads, motorways, which are given the name with N1, N31, N10, or N15, whatsoever is there. We will discuss about that in the later slides, right? So if we talk about, I guess we are next to the motorways. Yeah. So if we talk about the motorways, motorways are extremely important for a country. They are, They have multiple lanes in that. They can carry high speed vehicles. They can have a limited or a controlled access, so that the government is going to be controlled properly through the federal system. So there are proper national highway authorities who can maintain, who can keep an eye on every action taking place, or everything taking place in the in motorways, right? So you can see this is one of the channel of all the highways in Pakistan. So you can go through it. I will, as soon as I'll upload this PPT for you. Okay, let's have a look. Please go through this video later on. I'm just explaining right now. So first of all, why do we need motorways, right? So it is important to have motorways because it can connect, or it can be near to the industrial estates. And industrial estates are extremely important for Pakistan economically, because we are declining in, you can say, uh, in trade. So industrial estate is important. For industrial growth, we need motorways, because motorways are utilized to transport our goods from one place to another, especially the bulky goods, right? Motorways, because of motorways, employment opportunities are also being there for the people. And you can say the motorway is are the major roads which connect from one country to another as well, especially Afghanistan and all the Central Asian states, because we can have a better trade with them. And it is also utilized by all kind of landlocked countries, like we do have the Iraq and the China on the northern side, so we can connect them through the motorways, right? So if I tell about the advantages of developing motorways in Pakistan, so they help in promoting industrial growth, as both products and raw material can easily be transported between cities to cities, right? And the operation of dry port can also be improved, because if any problem in the rail network will occur, motorways can use the transport and can quickly just transport your goods from the port through roads, right? Then industrial growth is also encouraged by roads, by the areas especially nearby the motorways. So the motorways usually have the wider area. Approximately 6 lanes used to be there, which provide the good quality surface and smooth passage for the traffic. So that is also one of the advantage. And congestion from other highways and roads, motorways are relieved out of it, and they might cut through a previous long route, and which is now becoming shorter, which helps the industrialist in meeting orders in time. Then tourists and professionals, the engineers, find it easier to travel through motorways, because it is better to travel through that, right? But there are some disadvantages for the motorways as well in Pakistan. So initially, definitely, again, as far as capital is concerned, as far as finance is concerned, so motorways are extremely expensive to build, and it needs a lot of high maintenance cost, and it requires a lot of time as well. So it is one of the disadvantage. And industrial growth may be limited, as motorways may not be the most suitable. For example, a producer who produces and sells his goods in bulk, he would prefer railways, as roads cannot carry a lot of goods in bulk quantity. Economically, it will turns to be expensive. So most of the industrialists will not prefer motorways. Instead, they will go for railways, right? And also, if we look into the motorways, don't always connect all major towns. They only connect major cities together. And thus the chronic poverty in rural areas still may not be solved because of that. But still, there are a lot of benefits. So we can look into the motorways which we have in Pakistan. So you can see M1 is one of the motorway which is operational since 2007, and it is M1 is a road. It's a motorway between Peshawar and Islamabad. Then M2 is between Islamabad and Lahore. It was completed in 1997, and since then it's working. And you can see it's one of the motorway which had 6 lanes in it. Then M3, which is a Lahore and Abdul Hakim motorway, and it was constructed and it's operational since 2015. Then Pindi Bhatia and Multan motorway is known as M4, which is completed in 2019. Then M5 is Multan Sakhar motorway. Again, it is also done in 2019. And M6 is Sakhar Hyderabad motorway. M7 is Dadu Hub motorway. Then M8 at Ratodero Gawada motorway. The name itself is telling you it's in Balochistan. M9 is Hyderabad Karachi motorway. M10 is Karachi Northern Bypass motorway. And M11 is the longest one. The Lahore Sialkot Kharia motorway, which was completed in 2019 and just connecting a lot of smaller areas in Punjab. Then M12, M13, M14, M15, which is also known as E35, which is in Hassan Abdul Thakot motorways. So these are 15 motorways which are still which are there, still are in progress, still are in development process. So let's see how long we can get. So just have a look on this motorway plan on the map. So you can see M1 is located over here. Then you can see M3 is located over here. This is M2, it's Lahore Islamabad motorway. So you can see maybe the ones who have traveled through these roads, they can easily connect, they can easily get the idea that how these roads are connecting with each other, right? So I hope everybody is clear till motorway. And if you have any questions, so we'll discuss in the class. Thank you.